Hello and welcome back or to Saved by the Bellwork. I'm Caroline.
I'm Emma.
I'm Mrs. Fowler.
I'm Macey.
And today we're going to be talking about books. So does anyone have anything they want to start with?
I do. Okay, so we all know the really popular books, like the ones that you found at your scholastic book fair in the library at elementary school. Did anyone else have those?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. But there would always be the same trilogies or same however many books there are, like the same set of books all the time. My main things were Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, and the I Survived books.
Did anyone read the Maze Runner books?
I loved the Maze Runner
I
books.
loved
They're
the Maze
great.
Runner books.
I'd fully recommend them. They're fun. I was like, this is going to sound really bad, but I was kind of on the government side for some of it. Because, like, yeah they are drilling into a child's head without permission. But didn't the parents give permission? And, like, also the world's going to end if they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just like, why are we so mad about it?
Honestly, I'm not gonna get. Why are we illegally putting things into children's heads? Most of them were okay.
Yeah.
See, it's hard for me to because there's the movies, right? And they cast people who do not look like children, so it's hard to me to like consider them kids. My thing is like, okay, they're adults because there's like, what's the one guy that plays the one guy?
Because how old are they supposed to be?
Well, whenever they first get taken, they're like toddlers.
That's what I thought.
But they have
Yeah.
like the parents' permission.
Yeah,
So it's like they didn't want to, but it's like it happened.
yeah. My only problem is like when I reread these books, I don't care as much because of the movies, and when they're like
Interesting.
adults that are casted that are supposed to be children, it doesn't make me see them as children.
I haven't seen the movies yet, so
The first one, they're okay, in my opinion. They're okay. They're not the
Interesting.
most
I've
amazing
heard a lot of
cinematic
good things about
masterpiece,
them,
but they're
but-
okay.
okay.
Okay,
I'll probably watch them.
Wait. You said something about Scholastic Book Fair, and that reminded me of The Land of Stories, which I love.
Okay, so have any of you seen Glee?
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
Okay.
I mean, like snippets. Like,
So you know the character Kurt.
Yes.
He's the
He-
one that he wrote it.
wrote it.
I saw a TikTok on that the other day, and I was like, oh my god,
No,
Macey.
okay, no, because I like would read the back of the book as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
kid,
yeah.
and I saw actor in Glee, and I was like, okay. But now that I know, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw that one TikTok, and I was like, Macey. Macey loved those books. I was absolutely flabbergasted.
I still have them. I don't have all of them, but and I don't care that they're for kids. I don't care.
Some
I'm
kids'
going
books
to
are great.
reread them soon.
I was
because
gonna
I love
read
them.
them because you liked them so much, but I never got around to it.
It's just so good.
Okay, so what are the last books that everybody read?
See, I've been going on a a journey of rereading books from my childhood. So one of the authors I really loved reading when I was little was Mary Down Khan. She wrote like a bunch of like horror thriller books, which I probably shouldn't have been reading
As a small child.
as a small
yes.
child. But I'm rereading them now, and I'm like, this is dark.
Yeah.
Why am I reading this? Like, there's one book, I don't remember what it's called, but it's about this little girl who drowns in a creek, like, behind someone's house because it was, like, a murder covered up in a canoe. Like, she tips over and dies. And then she comes back as a ghost, like, 20 years later. And this other little girl who's the same age, looks the same and stuff, is, like, getting lured by this ghost girl to die. And it was just, like...
That is.
But it's a kid's book.
That's like
It is?
Conjuring vibes.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
meant for like
I don't like
5th,
that.
6th graders.
That's insane.
But I'm like, when I was in 6th grade, I didn't know what like I didn't know the definition of paranormal. I couldn't
Yeah.
spell it. I couldn't spell anything.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, you should read this book about kids dying. So great. So
Crazy.
fun.
Yeah. That's an interesting.
Yeah, and I've been like rereading all of those books. Part of me was like, oh my god, my childhood. These are actually really good books, like surprisingly good books. Like for when I was not a reader when I was a kid, but I loved reading these books. But these were like top tier books for me. And now that I'm rereading them, one, I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. And then I'm like, why was I reading this?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why were my parents letting me read these? Because my parents would buy the books. Also, I'm rereading Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Loved those. I'm just waiting for the next book.
Good. I want the next book so bad.
I want it so bad.
And then I saw the movie, and it ruined it for me. I didn't.
It's completely different.
It's completely
It's
different.
not- it's
the girl
just-
has completely different powers.
Right?
It just
It's
makes me mad.
completely different topic. But yeah, whenever I was first learning to read, this is kind of correlated, but Emily's reminded me of it. When I was first learning to read, I read like the Harry Potter books with my dad, and so every night we would like sit down and we'd read a chapter, and then eventually I got to the point where I could like read to him instead of him just reading to me, and that was absolutely crazy for me. And then and then we finished the Harry Potter series, and that was really fun. And then we read other books like the Watership Down. I hated that book. We never finished it because I was so mad about it. It's about rabbits on a hill, and that's all it's about, and it's really long. It's stupid. Don't recommend it. But we tried to read that one. Yeah, and then we tried to read the Tom Sawyer one, but I didn't finish it. But that was like my first introduction to Harry Potter. So it was like, yeah.
You were like 4, just learning to read, or were you like?
I was like 7.
7?
Like, I think we started in like first grade.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and then I used to fly a lot as by myself as a kid.
Yeah.
And so, but my parents could like sit at the gates with me, and I remember whenever I got I think it's the 5th book. I was reading the 5th book, and I was sitting in the airport, and I was just reading it by myself, and like the beginning chapters of Harry Potter is different from the rest of it, and so I was reading it, and I was like, why is it like this? Because I was like so confused. Those are like my only 2 memories of Harry Potter because it's been so long since I read them. But
at first, I was like, you'd say when I first started reading, and then you went into how you read like Harry Potter books. I'm like, when I was younger, I couldn't read Dr. Seuss books without crying over the pages because my dad was yelling at me to sound it out properly.
My parents read Dr. Seuss to me, and then we kind of like, there had to be some in between, but we kind of like jumped directly from Dr. Seuss into like Harry Potter. And so, but it was still just them reading to me.
Yeah.
But then we'd like trade off. I'd like read it with him, and then I figured out how to read it by myself, and it was like kind of my evolution of learning how to read is basically in the Harry Potter series.
I think
that's interesting.
I love that.
Okay, Dr. Seuss, bringing up that, my mom had this like really old copy of Green Eggs and Ham, and I stole it from her, and I read it every single day, and I memorized it to where I could just like, I didn't even have the book, I could just read the whole book just off of memory.
Do it?
No.
Oh,
every night before bed.
But I bet you if I like did it for like 3 days, 4 days, I could probably
do it the whole thing.
See, when I was younger, I loved reading Dr. Seuss books, but then when I got into like 3rd grade, I was introduced to the internet, and I was like, Dr. Seuss books on Amazon because I was so obsessed, and then there were so many links of the terrible things that Dr. Seuss has done, and I was like, oh,
it's not great.
No more Green Eggs and Ham for me, I guess.
I never liked Green Eggs and Ham, like that specific one.
loved it.
I don't know why, it just like felt off to me.
My mom would get mad at me because I wouldn't read any other book than that book. So she would get mad at me, and she would like be like, you need to read more books. You can't just be reading one book over and over again. And I was like, no.
At least you were reading a book.
Exactly.
I was throwing Barbies off our balcony, and your mom was worried about their kid reading a book.
Yeah.
Did you ever read the one with like the elephant and the little tiny men on
Horton Hears a Who?
Yes.
I was just watching a
really
YouTube video of someone just critiquing the movie. But the book scared me. I was low-key scared of it because of the way the tiny little people were drawn. They were fuzzy and weird.
It was a little weird.
And it scared me. Like, every time my mom would sit me down for bed, and she was like, the once in a blue moon that she would actually read me to sleep. She's like, honey, we're going to read a book. Horton Hears a Who. And I would freak out. I've had nightmares about Horton Hears a Who. I still have them. I imagine it being crushed by like a giant purple dandelion thing.
Well, I was more freaked out about the fact that what if we're on a little flower
what
right
if
now?
We're on a little flower.
You guys went existential, and I was like, oh, a little elephant.
What if an elephant is carrying us right now?
Who's talking to the
Honestly,
elephant?
he's doing all the work for us.
Also,
I really
why is that
it.
elephant talking in the first place? I mean, because in all of other Dr. Seuss's books, it's always like made up creatures talking and stuff. But in Horton Hears a Who, it's just like, boom, elephant talks, yay.
Yeah.
And all the other creatures are made up too. Like the one little guy in the movie he's like little and tiny and like bug eyes, you know?
Yeah.
He's not a real animal.
I didn't know there was a movie.
Real animals.
Oh,
and then
there's a movie.
and then the book came out, and it's just like, elephant speaks. I was scared of elephants. I was scared of dandelions. I was scared of everything.
I also really loved the Red Fish, Blue Fish book. That one was such a good Dr. Seuss book.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
That's all I know, but it was great. Okay, so Macey, what was your most recent book?
I I don't know, but I'm reading a book right now.
Yeah, what is that one?
German Girl. The German Girl.
I've never heard of that one.
It's about a German girl. Whoa, I know. And she, like, escapes from Germany and goes to Cuba. And then it, like, switches back and forth between her, like, great niece or whatever. Would it be great niece?
I didn't read it.
I don't know, so switching off from or something to something, whatever. Okay. So it goes from her being in Germany, and then, like, the next chapter is of her great niece, whatever, and she's trying to find her great aunt in Cuba.
So it's
like, I don't know how to explain it.
Did she escape from Germany, like, after World War, like,
One?
II? Like,
one?
with the Berlin
two?
Wall?
Two.
It's two, babes.
Are we talking about Berlin Wall era?
I don't know.
I think that was after World War II, right?
It's
We're
like
not that far in
during.
history
It's
class.
during.
I'm not a history buff.
During? Oh, okay.
Like, it's like mid, and her father was sent to Auschwitz.
Yeah. Oh, is she Jewish?
Yes.
Oh, that was kind of a key detail.
Sorry.
Makes more sense. I was like, oh.
I was like, why is she... Okay.
Sorry, I forgot. That, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. This is kind of off topic. Could I ever borrow your copy of A Little Life?
I haven't read it yet.
You haven't read it yet? I saw you... Did you, like, start it?
I got a chapter in, and then it stopped being fall, and I was like, I'm done. I gotta wait till fall, but I can give it to you during the summer, yeah.
Okay.
But I just haven't read it yet, so don't tell me anything.
I don't know. I just know it's sad.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was gonna read it in fall, because it's, like, sad.
Yeah.
But then then it became Christmas, so I couldn't read it anymore.
I feel like after
Gotta put it
Christmas,
down.
before February is a good sad book era.
Yeah, but, like, fall, because it's, like,
But
all
fall.
droopy
There are
and
established
dreary
eras
and,
for
like,
books. Hold on. Wait a minute.
No,
I've
it's-
just been reading, like,
it's
I'll
not
read
just-
Christmas books in April because it's a Christmas. I don't know.
I mean,
I
it's
just
not
like
necessarily an era.
I think it's just, like...
It's just like
it's
how do you feel in the moment, how you want to feel.
It's just like it's a certain person thing.
Yeah, you like people watch Gilmore Girls in
Only
the
in
fall.
I can only do it in the fall. I've
Yeah.
never watched it in any other season.
Because it's
I've never
the-
watched it at all. So
People just like have vibes that fit to certain
Yeah,
things.
vibes.
Yeah, it's just
it's
all
always-
vibes.
all the
fall.
vibes, the
or
aesthetic.
winter or fall. And
it's always a season. Just a season.
you can't do it in summer.
Because is there ever a summer episode?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I've only seen it except for A Year in the Life.
Maybe like a spring one.
There's probably spring because they like get out of school
yeah
and stuff.
But like during the summer, there's nothing to do because it's
Oh,
all
but
about
there's-
school.
Maybe there's a summer one where she's like deciding, where she decides she's not going to Yale again because that would be in the summer, right?
Is
thought
this
she did
becoming
that,
a
like,
Gilmore
mid-year.
Girls episode?
No, I'm.
Or did she
just
do it? Did she do it after?
Was it the beginning? Was it the middle of the year?
I thought it was middle of the year, but
It could be
wrong.
yeah, because she's not going back to Yale.
She's
Yeah,
like, I'm
yeah,
done.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Anyway, okay, I'm done with talking about that. Anyways, I've been.
Fowler. Have you read any books recently? Sorry, I was just really like, we forgot about Miss Fowler. Mrs. Fowler. Sorry.
It's okay. No, I'm really into like this murder mystery era right now, and those are like
Those are my favorite genres.
It's like my all-time favorite right now, and I just read one that kind of ruined it for me because it was like top-notch murder mystery, and I don't think I could ever read another one again.
Which one was it? Because I need.
His and Hers by Alice Feeney.
Oh,
So-
I've read that one before.
It's like, have you really?
Yeah.
It's like one of the best books
It's
I think
so
I've
good.
ever read because it kind of like throws you off at the end, and like
Oh.
plot twists are my favorite. Like
A book
mystery
like that
elements.
is We Were Liars. I don't remember the author, but We Were Liars is such a good book. It's like it's so trippy, and then there's multiple books of it that tell the different perspectives of everyone's side of the story. But then the plot twist at the end is like, I don't want to spoil it, but like there's a massive plot twist, and it just like blows your brain away. It's just,
I have so many things that I want to read now.
I think like my favorite type of like mystery / murder mystery is when like the main character is actually the murderer, and
I
like
love
you
those.
don't
Those
know
are fun.
like I don't know. I don't want to give away what I'm talking about, but there's a book that I read like a while ago that was like that.
now I want to talk about this. Now we Were Liars because that's such a good book, and I love talking about it to people and just explaining the plot twist. It's so good.
Are there like 4 Or
I don't
why did I
honestly
make up
don't
four?
know how many books there are of
That
it.
it's like full separate books, and they're like
Yeah, like full separate books. It's all of like the same
events.
event, but all in the different perspectives.
Yeah.
But the main girl is like, I can't explain it without ruining it.
It's okay,
but
it's
it
okay.
was so good.
I'll read them eventually. I'm currently reading the like Shadow and Bone.
Oh,
trilogy.
I just started. Sorry, I just started that series on
Giant
Netflix, so I
gas.
just got so excited.
I started the series, watching the series a couple years ago, and I was like, wait, I gotta read the books first. And I just got the books over Christmas, so now I'm reading them so that I can watch it. But I read the like duology that comes after it, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I read them already because I was like, is it actually connected? And if you don't want to read Shadow and Bone, but you want to read the Six of Crows Crooked Kingdom, because there's only 2 of them, it only spoils one like main point, and the rest is like totally I'm not spoiled at all for the rest of the series.
I started watching the show with my mom, and my mom got mad at me because she's read the books.
Yeah.
I haven't, and so I was like, I'm just gonna sit down and watch it. She's like, you haven't read the book. You haven't read it, so you can't watch it. I'm like, Mom,
Yeah, I'm excited that season 2's out, because now I have like more to watch when I finish reading it. It's weird.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I love fantasy stuff. That's like my favorite.
I started Shameless.
yes.
Macy's watched it like 7 times.
More than
I've
that.
watched
More?
it a million times. I love Shameless. Fiona?
I'm on
Mwah.
like episode like 4, because I can only watch like 2 episodes a day.
Oh, girl, you got a
it's-
long ways to go.
I know, isn't it like 13 seasons?
11.
And they're like an hour-long episode.
Yeah, and there's like 8 episodes.
I get home at
or
like
12.
There's
7 every
there's
night.
12 episodes in each season.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So
Yeah. I have so many shows I
It's
want to
so
watch.
worth it, though. It's so worth it.
I'm having a good time.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
I feel like season 1 and season 11 are kind of season 1's not boring. It's far from that.
It's
Yeah.
been interesting
But-
so far.
But like season 1 and season 11 don't represent Shameless.
Okay.
Yes.
You've
Season
told me that before, and I was like,
6 is
I've
my
kind of
favorite
been like
season.
fighting through the trenches in this first season, but
Because
I think
like
it'll get better.
the first season's like crazy.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff happening, and it's like
because they have to establish like
and it's
the
like all
vibe.
over the place, and it's like a little bit off its rocker.
Yeah.
And then season 11's kind of like toned down
Yeah.
more than any other season.
okay,
So it's like
so it's like complete opposites, but
Season 6
not
is
really
my
representative.
personal favorite season.
season 5, I think.
Yeah, I love season 6 mostly just because like it's one of like the seasons that are very well thought out and like structural wise.
Season 7. Sorry. Okay. Go.
So I was thinking maybe we should get back to the
Yeah,
book
totally.
topic.
If there's a Shameless book, that'd be controversial.
I don't think I would read
Well,
it. To be
aren't
I don't
there,
honest.
think
like-
I'd read it either.
Aren't there 2? Isn't that just like the specific version? Aren't there other versions from different like countries? Am I making that
There's
up?
a UK version. That was the first one.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
It's not.
Is this
good.
one? Okay, so Fiona,
Yes.
is her actor like American?
Yes.
Yes.
Why does she
She
talk
was-
like that?
She's New York.
She's from New York.
Oh, okay.
She was in Fiona's in like the girl that plays Fiona is in everything. She was in Phantom of the Opera, like
Oh yeah.
completely separate genre. She was in a lot of
Yeah.
other like big blockbuster movies.
Did you see she had another baby?
I did.
Like, just randomly one day
like,
she posted like a baby foot or
It's like,
something. I was like,
here's my child. Have fun. There you go.
anyway.
Okay. So, have any of you what? Oh, okay, sorry. I've completely forgot what book I read. Have any of you read a book lately that you like really really liked besides the His and Hers?
Oh, The Cellar. It was a really good book. Okay.
I've heard of
It's so good. Okay. Warning you now, it was a Wattpad book, but it got published.
That's fine.
And it's so good though. It's like I don't even know how to describe it without spoiling it, but like you good.
She just had a heart attack.
Have you all heard of After?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I read that
Do
when I was
not.
in high school.
No.
On
No.
like
No.
Have you seen the
no.
movies?
Oh my god, no. Stop.
What?
Let me alone.
I'm sorry.
Stop talking about it.
The end,
Pardon?
the fact that he's writing the book
What?
called After, and he didn't ask permission.
No.
What in the world? And he was mad that she was mad. I was like, you
was
can't do that. That's
based-
illegal.
I think it was
do
based
anything
off of
on
It was
Harry
Harry Styles.
One Direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's based off Harry Styles, and now it's like
That makes it even worse
know.
because it's like supposed to be like a bad boy Harry Styles fan fiction.
bad boy Harry Styles
And
fan
he's
fiction
not.
coming in the
He's like
chat
this-
over here.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I would like
Aw.
read it in math class, like underneath my desk, just like reading it.
Okay, I used to be a big Wattpad girl. Like
It's
in
okay,
middle
me
school,
too,
I
though.
was all over
Yeah.
that.
We all had our
And
eras.
I would like discreetly read it on class, like in class, because in my old school we had little tablets instead of laptops, and so I would just be like reading Wattpad in the middle of English class or something.
On the school lap.
on the school laptop.
That's a little bit risky, though.
And then I was convinced that I would be a famous Wattpad writer.
Same.
And so I would write a bunch of Wattpad stories.
I've never had an original experience before.
Did you write on Wattpad? Macy, can I find you on Wattpad?
I didn't publish it.
God dang
And
it.
I wrote like a chapter.
I did.
I don't wanna
published
talk
all of
about
mine.
it.
I will find it.
No.
It was a dark era.
It was like
Was it the one you were telling us the show that you were talking to us about?
no.
Dang it.
See, mine were all like I didn't like fan fictions. I thought fan fictions were like so horribly. I wanted to do something original because I was quirky.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that
so
phase.
I would make up. Do you guys remember, if you've been on Wattpad, the Alpha Wolf stories, like
Yes. Oh
where
my
she
gosh.
like the main character
Yeah.
gets like kidnapped or something, is in the middle of the woods. I would write those, and actually
Oh.
one
Oh
of my Wattpad stories actually got like really popular.
Wait, okay.
Like full on.
What's the
What's
the name?
No. What
What's the
like
name?
what like fan base was it?
Alpha? Alpha,
Yeah.
Omega, Beta.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what that means.
That's
What?
the Wolfies.
when
The
they like
werewolves.
the werewolves.
That's the werewolf
Oh.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
One of
Twilight?
these-
I don't like that I said
Yeah.
Alpha, Beta, Omega. Like everyone just knows what that means.
We were just like, yeah.
I was so ready to become famous, and it got like a lot, and by a lot I mean like a lot. Like
Maybe I read
So
it
I can
and didn't
easily
know it
find
was
you.
no, it was like when you looked up, like
What was your username?
I'm not telling you.
Will I be able to tell your username?
No.
Oh my god.
But when you looked up like something like Wolf Girl or Wolf Boy X Human Girl or something, it was like the first thing that popped up, and those had like millions of reads. And I was one of those people. I felt so.
That's
famous.
actually so you made it.
You
did it.
I made it.
You're a
to
published
Wattpad.
author.
So that's
Wow.
you get an A in all of your English classes now because
Yeah.
you just already.
The only thing is that I used like so my like if you hook up like an account, like a bank account to your Wattpad account, you can make money off of it. And keep in mind, I would have made a crap ton of money off of this,
Yeah.
but I set it up to some random person's account, and it wasn't mine.
Do you know how much money you made?
I have no, like it was. I don't know. I have no idea.
You would have made so much money.
I would have made so much money. But I remember my friend came over once with her parents, and they had logged in on my tablet so they could, like, I don't even know what they were doing, but they logged in on my tablet. All of their information was on my school tablet now. And so when it was like, do you have an account you want to, like, send your money to? I'm like, I'll just click on that one because I didn't understand.
You gave your money.
I gave my
to
money
your
away to some
friend.
random people that I didn't know.
I thought you were gonna
Oh my
say
God.
they saw your story.
Oh,
I
they
thought
probably
that-
did. With the girl that was my close friend. Oh, whoops, I smacked the mic. My close friend. She was like a fan and was like,
Of your work.
Of my work. My work. It was so amazing.
Have you all seen the like TikToks on AO3 of like finding AO3 on a graphing calculator? It's like if it has a screen, you can get AO3 on it.
That's
It's a
kind of
thing.
rad. I'd
It's-
probably do that.
It's always funny because it's like this tiny little screen, or it's like a something stupid. But I would recommend finding them. But they're kind of funny to watch. Anyways, that's all the time we have on this episode. Thank you
Do
for
not
joining
check out my
us.
Wattpad, please.
Do find it.
Do not
Do
find
Give it
find
to
it.
me.
I
I
will
wanna
find
see.
it. If I find it, and I can put it in the link of the description of the
No,
episode, I will try and find it. I will do my
Link in the
best.
description below.
Link in description if I find it. Okay. See you next week.
Bye.
You're quiet.
I am? Oh, wow. Thanks for telling me, Danny. That is so great. Maybe you should turn my mic up so I don't have to eat it in order to be heard.
Don't silence women's voices, Danny.
Exactly. Feminism.